You quit your job. Does that mean you're going to leave me? No, that's not true. Becoming independent is like changing careers. It doesn't mean I won't have any money. You think going independent will work? I doubt it. Maybe you should go independent from me too. Huh? Are you talking about divorce? I won't support someone who's not working. My name is Lisa. I'm 40 years old. I've been working while raising my child. I didn't work after my daughter was born, but I was lucky to get my old job back when she started elementary school. I mainly work from home now. My daughter is in 6th grade, and I think it's time for me to try something new at work. My husband is also 40. When we married, he was a salesman with good prospects. He was confident in his job, but he switched jobs 3 years ago, hoping for a better salary. Instead, his salary went down, his benefits are worse, and he has to work overtime every day. My family lives on a farm in the countryside. My daughter has been helping them in the field since she was little. She loves visiting and working with her grandparents. My parents love doing field work with my daughter, but my husband hates the countryside and never wants to visit my parents' house. I'm going back to my parents' house for a week. How about you? I have work to do, so I'll stay here. I'm finishing up a project. I knew my husband wouldn't come, but we're a family, so I still ask. Even though he's not coming, it's polite to ask. When my daughter and I are at my parents' house, my husband calls me every day. It's fine if he's calling to check on us or show he cares, but he usually calls about trivial things. What should I eat today? Why not eat the leftovers in the fridge? I'm not in the mood for that. Then cook something yourself. Why should I? I'm tired. Yeah, you've worked hard. Where are my clothes? They're in your usual drawer. What's with the folding and cut corners? Well, you're on your own then. My husband has been like this the whole time we've been at my parents' house, so I mostly ignore his calls and messages. He also doesn't like it when we go to my parents' house. When we get back, the house is always filled with garbage. Mom, when we go to Grandpa's house, it always gets so messy. Yes, it does. Why do you always clean up the mess, Mom? He's the one making it. Shouldn't he clean up after himself? Of course. My daughter is also frustrated with my husband's attitude. Even though we're enjoying Grandpa's house, I hate coming home to a dirty house. My daughter feels the same way. Hey, can we leave early from Grandpa's house? Grandpa and Grandma must be tired from working in the fields. I wish I could help out. Thank you. Grandpa and Grandma would love that. My daughter's kindness is a contrast to my husband's selfish behavior. I'm really tired of dealing with his childish ways. After a long vacation, I went to my company to discuss my health, annual assessments, and goals. Inspired by my daughter's comments, I proposed to the president that we use our program to make agriculture more it-oriented. Other companies have been working on this for a while. The president agreed that this is a business that has been around overseas for decades. Japanese companies have been developing new agricultural models for about 10 years. With our data, we can make it work successfully. We already have farmers interested in this model. I see. In the meantime, can you submit a proposal? Sure, I will. I quickly asked my parents to cooperate, and they agreed right away. My daughter's comments about wanting to help her hardworking grandparents gave me a great business idea. A month after I submitted the proposal, my project was approved. I worked hard on it because I was worried about my aging parents. If the project succeeded, it would really help them. But my husband kept trying to discourage me. You've been acting all cheerful lately. I don't like it. Oh, really? Are you getting carried away? I don't know. Your face just demotivates me. Well, if that's the case, you don't have to look at me. I know my husband just wants to make me feel bad. I already feel bad enough, but I try not to show it. I keep my tone normal and treat him as usual. He's always like this. When I'm happy or excited, he tries to hurt me. I'm used to it now, so I don't let it affect me, but it's still frustrating. I can't just not look at you. We live together. That's not true. You can just stay in your room. I can handle my job and take care of our daughter on my own. If you took care of yourself, we wouldn't even need to interact. That's not what I meant. My husband yelled at me. I'm really frustrated. I want to divorce him, but I'm not sure how to explain it to our daughter. I'm stuck, unable to decide. Since I don't react to his words, he starts criticizing the farm. Maybe your inability to understand things is because you grew up on a farm in the countryside. He's being so childish. I try to stay calm, but when he insults my parents, it really gets to me. Still, I'm keeping a cool head this time. For the first time, a project I propose has been accepted, and I'm excited to work on it. My husband's attitude isn't bothering me as much as it used to. So, you're saying I can't do my job because I grew up in the city? You're crossing the line. That's exactly what I'm going to say to you. Don't be a jerk. No, you were the one who started this. We've been arguing like this a lot lately. He used to be a nice guy, but things changed when he switched jobs. My husband and I haven't been getting along, but my work has been going really well. A few months later, I decided to resign from the company after discussing it with them. I made the choice to leave and sign a licensing agreement with the company to become independent. I had told my husband about this plan beforehand, but I guess he didn't really listen because as soon as I resigned, he told me he wanted a divorce. You quit your job. Does that mean you're going to live off me? No, that's not true. Becoming independent is like changing careers. It doesn't mean I won't have any income. You're going independent? Are you kidding me? That's not going to work. Then why don't you go independent from me too? Huh? Divorce? I'm talking about divorce. I'm not going to support someone who isn't working. I was at a loss for words, startled by the sudden mention of divorce. I was thinking about my daughter when she unexpectedly opened the living room door. Mom, get a divorce, she said, even though she should have been asleep. My husband looked briefly upset but quickly defended himself. It's your fault for saying you're quitting your job. He stood in front of our daughter, insisting it wasn't his fault. But my daughter only looked at me, ignoring him completely. Are you sure? I asked her. Yes, I want you to get a divorce. I don't like him. He always says mean things to you, Mom. Don't stay with him because of me. I want you to divorce him right now. We can go live with Grandpa and Grandma. Thank you, I said, touched by her support. But you'll have to change schools. Are you okay with that? Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. Let's go. You don't have to talk to Dad anymore, right? Yeah, I guess so. Well, I guess that's it. We'll talk about the details later. Hey, my husband interrupted. What? I replied, exhausted. It's not my fault, okay? Okay, we'll talk later. I hope you can live a life you won't regret in the future. Huh, I'm not gonna regret it. I'll be free once you guys are gone. I turned my back on my husband, who was still ranting, and left the house with my daughter. Despite my worries, my daughter seemed relaxed at my parents' house. She'd adjusted well after changing schools for the new semester and seemed to be enjoying her new environment. Once she was settled, my husband and I had another discussion about the divorce. He claimed he wouldn't pay alimony because, according to him, I was to blame. Normally, if it were my fault, he'd ask for alimony, but he clearly didn't understand what being liable meant. I will properly charge you alimony, I told him. Huh? Because you're the one who's liable, right? You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. How can I be liable? I didn't do anything. Exactly, you didn't do anything about the house or our daughter. I was the one struggling while you did nothing, but you sure took care of Mary, didn't you? What? He stammered as I laid out the evidence of his infidelity on the table. How did you get this? You didn't steal my phone, did you? You're being rude. Excuse me? You're the rude one. You're a married man. What were you thinking? And no, I didn't collect this myself. Then how did you get it? You're unemployed. How did you afford a detective? It was our daughter, I revealed. Huh. She's the one who collected all of this. After we separated, she told me she saw you walking arm in arm with a woman she didn't know. She used my laptop to sync your phone and showed me the data. She even encouraged me to divorce you. She hates you. She hates that you're her father. So I can divorce you without a second thought, I said, feeling a mix of anger and relief. I can't believe you let our daughters see those pictures. You're such a lousy father. I laid out all the evidence in front of him. There's no point in making excuses. Your new job was the result of another affair, and you're already paying alimony to that woman's husband. You even lied about your salary being reduced, and I've looked into all of it. At that point, my husband, who had been stubborn and defensive, finally nodded, realizing he was caught. I'm proud to have such a talented daughter, he said, trying to shift the conversation. I'd be happy if she takes over my company in the future, if that's what she wants. Sorry, he muttered. Sorry isn't enough. Let's not avoid the divorce. You don't want to be unemployed, do you? I'm not stopping the divorce. And if you don't pay alimony and child support in a lump sum, I'll go to your company and tell them everything. If you do that, I won't be able to keep my job, he pleaded. Maybe you should start looking for a new one then, I said, standing firm. You're going to regret this for the rest of your life, he threatened. But I knew I wouldn't. My husband tried to ask me for help, but I just smiled and brushed him off. After that, he was reluctant to sign the divorce papers, so I hired a lawyer and let him handle everything. Less than 2 weeks later, we were divorced. My husband didn't want to spend any more money since he was already dealing with 2 alimony cases and paying child support. He knew that hiring a lawyer would push him to the brink of bankruptcy. In the end, my ex-husband paid alimony and child support in one lump sum. He couldn't cover it with his savings, so he went into debt and even informed me, hoping I'd feel sorry for him, but I ignored his pleas. When I filed a claim for alimony against his cheating partner, it led to a huge fight between them, and they broke up. The woman was furious about having to pay alimony, but she eventually agreed. She had to ask her parents for the money, and I heard she moved back to the countryside to help with the family business, where her parents could keep a close eye on her. As for my ex-husband, he couldn't afford the rent on his apartment anymore. He ended up moving into a shabby apartment, struggling to get by. My business has really taken off, and I'm enjoying every day. Things didn't work out with my husband, but I'm glad that what I've learned has been useful for my family's farming business. My parents are thrilled that the IT system has significantly reduced their work hours and lightened their workload. I owe so much of this success to my daughter. I had to let her have a smartphone and tablet when she was in elementary school. At first, I was hesitant, but she's been using them wisely. Her favorite place is still the fields, but she's starting to take an interest in my work. Recently, she's been asking me to teach her how to make a website, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for her. My 12-year-old daughter is truly remarkable, but it saddens me that she had to see a side of her father that no child should have to witness. I hope the adults around her will support and guide her as she grows. Her grandmother is right. I look forward to seeing the amazing things she'll do in the future.